Alright, so we go to Empire turn 3. He charges my general with his halberds on the right-hand side. I decide not to flee. Um, I don't really know what my plan is there, but if he charged me, he was probably only 2 or 3 inches away, and he would get 4 inches of movement. I mean, I probably could have gotten away, but even then, if I rally, I'm going to stand there, and he's just going to charge me again. So I just said, yeah, screw it, just stay there. He charges his big block of swordsmen into my diminished block of spearmen, and I'm really hoping, because I'll have at least 5 extra attacks because I have spears, that I can survive there with the Battle Standard Bearer reroll and just stick around. If I can stick around, then my mages can buff that unit, and I can turn the tide. I can make them +1 strength, +1 toughness. I can regrow some people. There's just a lot of things that I might be able to do there if they can just stick. And then I've got that big block that can mix it up with his big block of halberds and see what happens there. So he charges my Questing Knights with his detachment, which I'm perfectly happy with. And actually, I'm glad he did, because I'm thinking I can kill him on his turn, and on my turn be able to charge without those guys getting in my way. And really, otherwise, it's just a look at the board. And then that unit used to have 35 in it. Yeah. So, yeah. So had my spearmen held, the plan was, one option would be I could have taken these guys into the flank of the swordsmen and beaten them pretty easily, and then, could have had a chance with something. With the mortar and the, I don't even know if the mortar hit it. I think that was just the Hellstorm rocket battery, or whatever that, it's the big template strength 5 hit. Yeah, I mean, at this point I'm like, okay, so I beat his detachment over here. Great. General loses, but gets away, so that's about as good as I can get. If I rally on my turn, there's a decent chance he won't be able to make his charge, and then I can fly over their heads or do something frustrating like that. On the left, you can see my spearmen did not hold. His swordsmen just opened up a can of whoop ass on him. They wounded a ton, much more than I expected them to. And I think I only killed one of his, which was much fewer than I expected to, because I had, I guess, 16 attacks. But they're peasants. So Brett turn 3, my general rallies, and then this is where I'm realizing there's nothing left on the board. I've got characters, but my spells are buff spells. They're not really offensive. I've got that, 7 peasants in the middle of the board. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed. So I charge his cannon. Not hard. I think that'll be pretty easy to beat. Yeah, there's no shooting, of course. The cannon kills another one of my guys, which is just funny. And so I just reform and going to take the charge from his guys. Go to Empire turn 4. Big block of halberds charges my small block of men-at-arms. I flee and flee through his swordsman. The swordsman did not charge me. That's just his. Well, he just turned towards me, so on his next turn he can charge. In the upper left, his knights charge my knights. This is just another closer look. So shooting opens up. My general's dead. My battle standard bearer's dead. My damsel has 1 wound. And if you look at the upper left, his knights demolish my knights. Actually, he didn't kill them all. He won combat by 1 or 2, and because I think he had a war banner, and he had the charge. I think wounds were about equivalent, but anyway, he won by 1 or 2, and then broke them and ran him down. At this point, I just conceded the game. I was like, you know what, let's call it here. And it's halftime for a second game. When we showed up, we hadn't planned on playing 2 games. And at this point, we said, let's just try again because this is done. So, one thing I know that hit me within 10 minutes of this game being over, when I was just thinking about what I could have and should have done differently. I mean, there was a little bit of bad luck with the Pegasus Knights at the very beginning of the game, but by and large, I used my Pegasus Knights, both units of them, and my general, and I was just kind of going to jump out early with them. And what that does, though, if I get him mixed up near his lines, it's basically 1/3 of my army that he gets to fight first before the rest of my army catches up. And so I decided, if nothing else, I need to be more careful, either keep my guys together or make sure that those guys can get into fights that are relatively safe, pick off some things, and don't get bogged down where he can concentrate multiple units on them. So anyway, devastating loss for the Bretonnians, but we have another game coming up right after it. Hope you enjoyed it.